You're probably overlooking one of the most interesting watches under $200. And on this channel, Worth the Watch, that's exactly what we're here to find. Because at first glance, this looks like just another simple field watch. But it's not. This watch was designed using the same principles as aircraft cockpit instruments. And once you notice that, you can't unsee it. This is the AVI-8 Flyboy Airmaster Sector. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand why the dial looks so different, why the movement inside is more interesting than it seems, and whether this is actually worth the watch or just clever marketing. Because honestly, there is something about this watch that might completely change your mind. Let's start with the first time you see it. No crazy colors, no oversized case, no skeleton dial trying too hard. It's quiet. And that's intentional, because this watch doesn't try to impress you in the first 3 seconds. It reveals itself over time.
Think about it. You're sitting in a fighter aircraft. Not modern, I'm talking mid-1900s. There's noise, pressure, vibration. You don't have time to figure out what you're looking at. You just need to read it instantly. And that's where this design comes in.
The Airmaster uses a sector dial, and this is where things get really interesting. Instead of everything being crammed together, the dial is broken into clear zones. An outer ring for precise minute tracking, an inner ring for hours, and a dedicated 24-hour subdial, not for show, but for function. Most watches today are designed to stand out. This one is designed to be understood instantly. You don't stare at it, you glance and you know.
That's a completely different philosophy. And honestly, it feels refreshing.
Now let's talk about how it actually feels. Because design means nothing if it feels cheap. The case sits around 40mm, which is basically the sweet spot. It wears balanced, comfortable, and easy. The brushed stainless steel keeps things subtle, nothing flashy, but definitely not low quality. And the strap? A simple nylon strap that feels like it belongs on real gear. Lightweight, durable, no nonsense. But here's where things get interesting, because the most misunderstood part of this watch is what's inside. This is where a lot of people get confused, because when they hear meca-quartz, they expect a chronograph. This isn't that. What you actually get is a standard 3-hand setup, plus a 24-hour subdial complication. So it's clean, simple, and functional. And it's powered by quartz, which means it's reliable and accurate. No winding, no fuss, it just works.
And honestly, this raises a bigger question. Do you really need a complicated watch feature? Or do you just want something that works every single time?
In daily wear, this watch is easy. The dial is super readable, the 24-hour subdial adds a subtle utility, it's light enough to wear all day, and it doesn't demand attention. But when you notice it, you appreciate it.
And this is where it gets personal for me, because this watch is actually what got me to start collecting watches in the first place. Before this, I didn't really think about watches much. They were just something that you wore. But this one was different. I remember looking at the dial and thinking, why does this one feel so satisfying to read? But the more I paid attention to it, I started noticing the details. The layout, the balance, the purpose behind it. And that's when it clicked. Watches aren't just accessories. They're design, engineering, and history, all in one. And from that point on, I started looking deeper into every single watch I saw. So in a weird way, this isn't just another watch for me. It's the one that started everything.
Now let's talk about the trade-offs, because there is one. This watch uses mineral glass, not sapphire, so yes, it can scratch more easily over time. That's the compromise at this price point, and depending on who you are, that might matter. But then again, watches like this weren't originally designed to stay perfect. They were designed to be used.
Now, this watch isn't for everyone. It's not flexing, it's not showing off. It's for people who appreciate purposeful design, subtle details, and a connection to something bigger than just style. People who look closer. So let's go back to the original question. Is this one actually worth the watch?
If you're judging purely on specs, there are other options. But if you're judging on design philosophy, wearability, and how it actually feels to use, this punches way above its price. Because every time you check the time, you're not just reading numbers. You're experiencing a design, inspired by instruments that once mattered in high-stakes environments. And that's why This one is worth the watch. If you're into watches like this, ones with meaning, not just branding, hit subscribe, because we've got a lot more coming.